The Gathering 208 podcast. We're hanging out with Juli tonight, and I guess she's talking to me about it. I don't know, about something, about the podcast, life, something. Anyways, so it's, what is it, episode like 18 or something like that, and so I'm back in town, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's rough today.
Buckle up. This is part 2 of Get to Know Your Pastor, essentially, because apparently Kellen and our interview was a little bit of a train wreck, but not enough to
no one said anything about a train wreck.
To not bring it back. So I, in true fashion, wrote questions starting 5 minutes ago, and we have a list to check off, ladies and gentlemen.
Gosh.
I know I had nothing literally 5 minutes ago. Some of these are going to be duplicates of what I asked Kellen because I'm just curious, and we have a couple new ones. So yeah, anything that's off the table at first that you can think of.
Usually I say I'm an open book and everything's good,
but he doesn't trust me.
But see, you frighten me a little bit. I'm a little nervous, like even getting the opening, getting like the hey, welcome to the podcast was a little like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I have that effect on people.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with it.
We're gonna see what happens. I will say now, nothing is off limits. There may be things that I defer. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. We're gonna start off with an easy one, and that is, what brand of deodorant do you use?
Old Spice.
For how long? Did you start that in middle school?
No. So actually, I didn't have to start wearing deodorant until my parents bought my younger brother deodorant when I was like halfway through high school, and not because I needed it, but because he needed it, and they felt like it would make me feel bad if I also didn't have deodorant.
Was it one of those things though that you didn't have to?
That's
or
what
like, were you the stinky kid?
No, I wasn't the stinky kid. I would. So the weird thing, I played in a band. Yeah. This is going to sound really weird.
A band or the band?
Well, it was a band.
Okay.
Right. I played in the jazz band.
Of course.
So
did I though, so I can't really make fun of you too badly.
No, I played bass in, it was like a hardcore post punk, kind of emo.
Yeah.
That phase, right? You know, mid 2000s.
I was gonna say we're talking
mid
early
2000s, like 2004 to 2006 kind of range. There's pictures, but they don't need to make their way out.
We will post those in the comments.
Dude, whoever's pushing, what are you doing? Okay, sorry. One of my kids is pushing stuff under the door. So you can't reach it now. We are out of luck. All right. So yeah, I played in this band, and like I would be drenched in sweat afterwards. And there were some girls who would like steal my t-shirt afterwards, and it was disgusting, but I didn't smell that bad. So that's weird.
We're gonna move on.
We don't need to talk about those days. I will say that during the post-punk phase, yes, I did wear girl jeans. Yeah. And yes, I did wear black eyeliner.
There it is.
And black nail polish. No, I did not have a lip piercing. That was Erica.
I love it. You guys really hit that hard. I mean, the punk.
We did. I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
I don't think I ever was. I don't think I ever hit that punk phase. I think I've always kind of been in the prissy, like princess phase.
Oh, okay. See, now what did you listen? What kind of music did you listen to in high school? Like, what genre were you? Like top 40? Were you?
Yeah, a little bit. You strike me
as a top 40 person.
Yeah, because I still am.
Yeah. Because so Erica was like diehard Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Right, and then I was into. Growing up in a pastor's family, and really like I did enjoy Christian music, so I listened to a lot of kind of Christian rock,
like Reliant
stuff.
K.
I would listen to
that's
Switchfoot,
a lot of what I listened to actually.
Some ska, loved ska, and then I would listen to like the Daughters and POD and some of that, and then like My Chemical Romance and Under Oath.
Yeah, so I was a fan of Under Oath, believe it or not. But I feel like it's because as much as this... Oh, sorry. As much as this kills me to admit it, we all like know it's true. I went through phases as my brother went through phases because I wanted to be like my big brother. Yeah. And so he was in like a little like screamo band for a while.
Because you have to be.
You do have to be. Yeah. He didn't do girl jeans or eyeliner though.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, sure. So like I kind of got into that a little bit and I did like it, and there's still, but like I didn't love it all the time. Like there would be a couple songs and it was like if it was kind of a hip hoppy screamer song then I was into it.
I feel like I need to justify the girl jean thing.
I don't think you need to.
I just want to say like there was no, aside of like Wrangler cowboy jeans, there were no skinny jeans for guys
or in like 2005. The straight leg, like the slim fit. Slim fit is what we're talking.
Slim fit did not exist.
Right.
Okay. Like it was loose. And you could get a regular, but not really.
Yeah.
Because we were coming out of the Junko jeans, right? Junko, yeah. Like that. Like you should be able to fit two people in your jeans, right? We're coming out of that phase, and so they didn't make skinny jeans for guys.
No.
So we would buy girl jeans, and they had elastic in them.
This is why I didn't want you to justify that though, because that's completely justifiable.
Exactly.
But like I don't want to. I'm not here for that. I just want to talk about how you wore girl jeans.
And because I, even though I'm 6 foot, I have the inseam of somebody who is 5'5", apparently, and so I could get away with wearing my wife's pants.
Yeah, that's insane. I love it. Wow, we got all of that from a deodorant question.
But no, I have not worn the same brand deodorant since middle school.
Because we were deodorant-less in middle school. Okay.
Well, a little bit.
Okay.
But even in high school, I switched a couple brands.
Do you think if you played sports instead of band that you maybe would have needed deodorant earlier on in life?
Well, I mean, I ran track in middle school. I did cross country and track.
I'm like fact checking everything that Josh says by looking at Erica, and she'll like nod. I'm like, okay.
I did. I was
made up, but okay.
I did cross country, and then in track I would do high jump, long jump, and sprints.
Okay, yeah.
And then relay because everyone had to do relay.
I loved relay in swimming. I didn't run. I like dabbled in it. Is running coordinated sport?
I will tell you though, as soon as my arches collapsed when I was in middle school, and I started getting flat feet.
A fact check that, seriously. Guys. Those quotation marks.
No, okay, I'm not going to show it on camera. No, okay. Do you see this right here? See that bone?
I don't think the camera can see it.
Okay, no, I'm not showing them. I'm showing you. Do you see how it looks like I have 2 ankles?
Yeah, it looks.
That's
weird.
my growth plate from my arches collapsing. It sticks out the side of my foot. Okay. It looks like I have 2 ankles.
Ladies and gentlemen, he has weird feet. We're gonna settle on that. But yeah, back to, since you asked me a question about me, we'll circle back to me here. Yes, I've always kind of liked like the top 40, but then I was really into like the Reliant K and
they're still
Super
solid.
Chick, and
I like Super Chick. Yeah.
I think that was the first band that I saw live was Super Chick.
Really? First band I saw live was Newsboys on the Step Up to the Microphone tour.
That was good.
It was good.
Yeah. So when they would go to Lifelight in Sioux Falls, when they had the drummer on the spinning stage, like I literally to this day, I'm always like, it's just so cool.
So one of my favorite things, like, you know, when you're like, I don't mean to brag, but like I got to play at Lifelight.
Oh, cool.
Like on a Lifelight stage. Now granted, it was the coffee shop stage.
Doesn't matter.
And it was with a band of 4 guys that I did not know the week before.
I respect that though, because you know that I always subtle brag when it comes to synchronized swimming.
I help you subtle brag. We were at the pool the other day, and those girls were copying the moves. Like there's this group of like older teenager girls. Like this isn't 13, 14. These were like 16, 17.
Yeah, like the cool kids.
Yeah, they're cool kids. And you were showing Faith how to do all these moves and like how to stay afloat, and I don't know what it's called. It doesn't matter.
We did a simple ballet leg, just for those.
And the girls on the other end of the board are like trying to low key copy, right? They're like watching out of the corner and trying to like low key copy what's going on. And so I'm like, is this the kind of stuff you did when you were on the U.S. team?
Yeah, he was like, what was that team that you swam for, Juli?
Was that the U.S. Open? Oh, what was that again?
And I didn't pick up on it at first. Normally, like, we've learned on this podcast that I like to talk about myself, but like I didn't pick up on it at first. I was like, I swam for the Forest Lake Rangers, like my high school team. And then he was like, but what else did you swim for? And I'm like, I did club with the St. Paul Stars for a summer. And then I was like, oh, I'm supposed to talk about how I swam in the U.S. Open in 2009.
Yeah, and you didn't say it nearly loud enough.
No, I didn't.
You're like, oh, the U.S. Open. Yeah, the U.S. Open.
And I probably though also because like that was, oh my goodness, over 10 years ago now, which makes you want to cry just thinking about that. Over 10 years. I used to even say like almost 10 years ago.
My son asked me how long I'd been driving on the way home. And I was like, oh, it's been like 20 years. I've been driving for 20 years.
You're 36.
No, I started driving legally at 14.
Oh, I forget about South Dakota.
Illegally, technically illegally at 12 because my dad would let me drive the truck in the woods when we were cutting wood because we had a wood stove growing up.
Well, so I did like my learner's permit at 15, but I started late. I didn't like do it right on my birthday because it was synchro season.
Yeah.
And I was a very dedicated athlete. U.S. Opens, people. and then
car driving gets in the way of the swimming.
It does. There's a lot of
hip
things.
Flexors
As you've learned frequently recently, I don't do a lot of things at once very well. So like I can't study for driver's tests and be in season, Josh. Just like, why am I going to school and having a job? It's too much and it hasn't even started. So, but yeah. So I got my license and everything like after I was 16.
Yeah.
Shortly, like in the summertime. And I remember a friend, I will like never forget this. She was eating while driving, which is like if you live in Sandy's house, hi mom, I think you're watching. Like you don't eat while you drive. Like, and technically that's like right now there's like hands-free laws in most states now too. Idaho just passed theirs. Mm-hmm. Like I think it started July 1st or something. So like it's not great. And a friend was eating a bowl of cereal while driving. And she was like, Julie, I've been driving for 6 months. Like, I totally had this. And then I was like, wow, that's a long time to be driving. But now if you put it in new terms, like, I don't know. I'm not good at math. How long am I? 13 years I've been driving.
Yeah.
Because I'm not counting learner's permit. But if I'm doing math, what's your name? Josh Math. Who are you? I almost called you Matt.
Math?
Then 14.
So the hands-free law, like they've always had the distracted driving law, right? Where you can't, if the officer feels you're overly distracted, right? So in high school, because I drove a truck that was a stick shift and didn't have cup holders, I would be holding a burger in one hand and a drink in the other while steering and trying to shift. Yeah. All simultaneously. This is actually why I always took Erica with me to go get food, is because I needed a cup holder.
Yeah. Thanks, Erica.
But like,
fact check.
The hands-free law, is that just cell phones, or is that hands-free?
Well,
like I'm going to pull over drinking my Starbucks.
Well, you know that I don't actually pay attention to news, so it's just something that I heard, luckily. So like, I can't hold my phone and talk.
Yes.
But I guess I really feel like even if it's not written in the bylaws or however you would say that.
The verbiage doesn't indicate.
Right. But like that if you were to like swerve a little bit or whatever and you were eating, like they're going to pull that in. Or like,
I mean, that would be distracted driving.
Okay. So either way, don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah. Don't get distracted. I mean, I'm still drinking Starbucks and let's be honest, I'm still eating a burger and holding a Coke in the other hand. Like, I'm going to drive with my knees.
Well, and you just drove again. Like, I don't know how many times you've done this. Idaho to... You didn't go all the way to South Dakota, did you? No, I didn't go all the way. We went
halfway across Wyoming. So, what was it? Rock Springs or...
Right.
Rock
and there's
River
nobody out there except for free-range cars and semi-trucks.
It's gorgeous out there.
It's beautiful, sure. Yeah. But, like, you can eat while driving.
It is a lot of straight lines. Although I did drive through Logan, Utah, and up to Bear Lake for the first time. And the road between Logan and Bear Lake is awesome. That is a great road. It's a great driving road because it's really twisty. And I took the Accord, which sits a little lower and has got decent tires on it. And so, I might have overdriven the road a bit.
A little bit.
But it was fun.
Good for you.
Not with the kids.
not with the kids, because it was just me in the car. Because with the kids, I'm not doing it because that freaks me out and I want to keep my kids safe.
Yeah.
And when Erica's in the car, she gets car sick. So really, if there's a chance for me to just be on like a driving road and I'm by myself in the Accord, like a driver's road, it's twisty
as
and
opposed to
The rocky roads.
as opposed to a road, like as opposed to a South Dakota road, which is just 120 miles of dead straight. And the only time
which was
you have to corner is because you hit a section line or a county line.
Yeah.
Or a cow. No, because it's not open range out there. All the cows stay behind fences where they're supposed to be.
I love it. So I don't know if we've talked about it on podcasts, but we've talked about it in life. Your like journey as a pastor. So your dad is a pastor.
Yes.
And then you went to school. You got your undergraduate. It was in liberal arts or something like that?
No, so I went to a liberal arts school.
Okay. But with the intent of being a pastor.
Yep.
Yep.
So go ahead. Do you have
I was just going to summarize it for you and have you drop in. So feel free to
I can start from the beginning of that story if you want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have other questions too, but I was just curious. What I was going to get to was that I know that you have done like different worship pastor roles.
Yes.
Was that always integrated or did you ever do that like individually?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm trying to use big words right now and it's just not happening. I'm on PTO this
You want to
week.
know like my career path as a pastor
and
here?
then you did youth ministry and now you're a lead pastor but you've been a lead pastor but now you're church planning. So give us a little rundown.
Okay. So
give us your resume.
I felt called into ministry in high school.
Yeah.
Right. Now before that I wanted to be like an engineer or a graphic designer or a musician. Those were the three things I was looking at. And I had opportunity for all three of those. And I said no, and was like, no, I'm going to go into ministry. So 2003, right? Made the decision I'm going to go into ministry. Go to school starting in 2005, and I know that I want to be a youth pastor.
Yeah.
Like, forget all the other stuff. You know, worship pastor, lead pastor. We called them senior pastors at that point. You know, whatever it was, connections pastor. Just I don't want any of that. I want to be a youth pastor. I thought I was seriously going to be a youth pastor until I retired or died, right? That was my goal. Oh my gosh, did you send that to her? No, that can just go away.
Ladies and gentlemen.
No. That is the most embarrassing photo.
I do have photo evidence of girl Jean Josh. And
no, let's not. I
do also value my position as a lead team member.
That photo is intentionally not on the internet.
So
anywhere.
I may not put it in the comments, but I am going to save it.
Please don't put it in the comments. Oh my gosh.
So I'm sorry for my distraction. But yes, your life. Back to you.
Yeah, I went to Indiana Wesleyan with the intent of being a youth pastor.
Okay.
Right. And so like the whole reason for going to Indiana Wesleyan was, one, it's a great Wesleyan school. It has a liberal arts education, right? So I'm not just getting a bachelor's in ministry
right.
from a Bible college. There's nothing wrong with that, but I wanted to have a well-rounded education. Right?
I have a liberal arts degree.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I respect
right. You know
that.
how that goes.
It also was expensive and
It
unnecessary.
is expensive.
For me.
Exactly. And
but it makes us feel better, right?
It does make us feel better.
That's what they tell you when the benefits. They're like, this is why you're doing this. Exactly. And then I'm like, I didn't have to pay this much to take history. I didn't even have to take history.
I probably could have done some of those credits at like a community college.
Yeah.
But that really wasn't popular back then. I mean, it's more popular now. But anyways, so the first job I got was at a small church up in Watford City, North Dakota, which was this little town of about 1,200, 1,500 people. And when I got there, the youth ministry was 3 people, right? And I wasn't just hired as the youth pastor because you can't justify a youth pastor for 3 people, right? So I was an assistant pastor who I helped with the worship team. I helped with leading some small groups and discipleship stuff. And then I also helped with some local outreach. And so when we moved there, it was 3 people. And then 2 of those kids were brother and sister and they moved away. So it was like me and Erica and a 6th grade girl who was the vice chairman of the board's daughter. Right. And that was it.
What up, Corday?
Corday, if you happen to watch this ever, what's up? It's good.
You're up.
You're awesome. Top 5. You're still top 5. You know that. Favorite students. There's like 15 people I tell they're top 5 too.
People at work ask me who my favorites are, and I just always tell them I'm the favorite. It's not you guys.
So yeah, we were we grew that youth group. The oil boom hit right when we were about 6 months after we moved there. That town went from 1,500 to 15,000 in the area. Wow. I think it was 10,000 officially, but they were estimating about 15. And that the youth ministry grew to like 40, 45 students over 3 years. We would do all-nighters and have 120, 140 kids come, and it was awesome because we were right across the street from the high school. And I really was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be youth ministry. And so I wanted to, it was kind of realized that it was my time to go. And just kind of felt like God released us from Watford and, confirmed that with my lead, and we kind of figured things out. Like, okay, so the day that I told Jeff Ruggles, my lead pastor, that I'm going to start looking for another job. Because the way we agreed to it is this needed to be a step of faith thing. And so I was going to commit to resigning before I found another job. Right. So I wasn't like I was comparing this job to another one.
Right. Yeah.
The day that I told Jeff, yep, I'm going to resign. And we need to figure out how we're going to tell the board and all that. The next day, Keith Nash from Mitchell Wesleyan calls me. He goes, hey, any interest in a youth pastor position down here at Mitchell Wesleyan? I was like, well, that's serendipitous. And I'm sure Wayne Muller or Wes Smith or somebody, probably Wayne, was running some stuff in the background on that one. But he was part of our district leadership. And, so I put my name in for that and a couple other youth pastor positions in our district and outside our district. And then ultimately ended up going to Mitchell as a youth pastor. And while I was there, I picked up also running like the tech stuff and IT, and then a couple other like communications things and handling graphic design stuff. And then our worship pastor resigned. And so I he was a full-time guy, and I picked up his role as well. So we were running like a youth group that was running between 100 and 140. I was running the worship for a church that was, 600 on a Sunday, and it was getting to be a bit much. And so then, we hired another worship guy, and then our discipleship guy left, and it was all like, so then I was doing some connection stuff that he was doing, and tech, and handing off worship, or handing off youth. Yeah, I handed off youth. That's what I did. And then we when I left, ultimately, we hired Josh Berg, who's the current worship pastor. So it was like this whole thing of, when I had to type out my resume for what I did at Mitchell, I felt like I was lying, right? Because my job
like
changed
how could
so many times while I was there that it's like, okay,
like I'm super
how do you
qualified
want me
in
to
all
break
of these
this
areas
down for you? Because I feel like I'm lying, and yet it's all kind of needs to be in here. Yeah. So anyways, when I was at Mitchell, I ultimately let go of youth ministry, which was really hard, and that's a whole story in of itself of what it took to get me out of youth ministry, and then was doing worship and realized that I don't like being second chair. Like, not that I don't like being second chair, like I enjoy being but like I'm not wired for it. Sure. So I had a couple phone calls with our DS, and he's like, Josh, when are you gonna look for, either a campus pastor position or a lead pastor position or church plant? And so Eric and I were really looking for lead pastor jobs. And nothing was really kind of panning out, and nothing felt right. And there was a couple churches that Wes was like, you could go here, but I'd really only want you there for a year or two, and just to get it on your resume. And it's like, I don't want to do that to a local church. I'm uncomfortable. I understand the need to get lead pastor on your resume. Right. But I'm not comfortable going to a church just to get it on my resume. I can't do it. And so, I told him that, And so we ultimately were like, I think we're supposed to church plant. And we didn't want to, honestly, because my dad planted the church he's at, and it was a lot of work. and it breaks your brain a little bit. Like, and you've seen my brain breaking a little bit since being here. But ultimately, we were like, okay, we're supposed to church plant. And that's ultimately how we ended up out here in Boise, was just saying yes to a lot of things that we didn't realize that God was calling us to down the road. But yeah, that's actually the short version. I need to figure out how to get it shorter.
I think that's pretty good.
So I thought I was going to be a youth ministry lifer, and now
Yeah.
I'm lead pastor at a church plant, and life is crazy. So
Funny how God
I know.
changes the direction that we think we have.
It's always been really good.
Yeah.
But there are times I'm just like, I don't want to. Maybe. And there's times still Erica's like, especially when we're want to, like go to Ireland or something. She's like, why couldn't you have been an engineer? Shut up. You're here with me. Like, I know.
By the way, I forgot to mention this
Hi,
at the
Debbie.
beginning. Hello. Please ask questions in the comments, and if I like them, I will ask them.
If they distract me from uncomfortable questions, I'll answer them.
So, okay, with your youth ministry.
Do you have a checklist that you're actually checking them off on?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry.
This was discussed on Kellen's. I am type A.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry. With youth ministry.
So I was spontaneous in writing them 5 minutes before, but now we have a list to follow.
And we will get through them.
Yes. So with your ministry history, what types of like missions work have you done?
Yeah.
Global, national,
So
whatever.
yeah, when we were in Watford, we spent a lot of time in Haiti after the earthquake in 2009, 2010.
You mean when we were in Mitchell?
When we were in Watford, I would go to Haiti.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we spent a lot of time going to Haiti and helping initially actually to tear down churches that had been earthquake damaged.
Oh, sure.
So there's a lot of swinging sledgehammers and moving cinder blocks and breaking up concrete, and then that turned into building these pole barn structures that would eventually become churches.
Sure.
Right. And actually the way we built them was really cool. They would be a church, but then they could easily be retrofitted to become a school, and a school that met World Hope standards for becoming, because they have these guidelines that you have to meet in order to qualify to have your students do the child adoption thing, where you or child support, where you can sponsor child sponsorship. That's the word I'm looking for. And so that we built all of that with in mind, so that we could have the kids in the local community sponsored through these other organizations because of the building we built.
Cool.
So I did that I started up in Watford, and then in Mitchell with a guy named Chad Glanzer, who would do a lot of trips, and I would go down with him. And then he would take people from the church, and that was awesome. And then doing the youth ministry in Mitchell, they had a long history all the way back to Phil Tagg, I think, started it, or I don't know if it started before him or not, but they would go and build homes with Casas por Cristo. Mm-hmm. And so we would go down to Juarez or Acuña once or twice a year and build a couple homes. And I think every year that I was in charge of youth ministry, I think we built 2 homes a year.
So you've done Casas before.
I don't know
if I've I feel like we've talked about that, but
Probably.
I don't know if I ever registered it. I always just think of Kellen and Casas.
Well, Kellen's been on a lot more trips than I have.
Sure.
I think I've been part of 6 to 8 builds.
Okay.
Now I wasn't, because we would build 2 at a time sometimes. But,
okay.
Anyways, so
Cool.
Yeah, Casas, and then and excited for Guatemala.
Yes.
Because that's going to be epic. I've not been to Guatemala yet.
Me either. I'm super pumped, and that's why I like keep bringing it up with you guys too, because I'm excited.
Speaking of Casas, Brian Poland's on. So hey, Brian, he was like one of my right hand people between him and Renee, and making
awesome.
Casas trips happen.
Hello.
Yeah, he was one of my trip leads. So he's
Awesome.
a fantastic guy.
Yes. So with that plug, we still have no idea what's going on with Borders, but we still need people. So
we are still planning. End of December, beginning of January, that week kind of over the 1st of going to Guatemala. And if borders don't open, the plan is to maybe bump that trip, but to still make it happen.
Yeah.
Right? Because we want to go, and it's just been, I mean, the world's turned upside down, but we're going to make it happen
So
somehow.
we're really looking forward to it.
Yes.
I can't wait. I think that's going to be awesome for like our G208 team.
Yes.
And it's going to be, I mean, I feel like church planting together, like it's already different than just going to church with people.
It is.
Like we've already had some of those dynamics, but then you throw in like a different culture, a different language, building a house.
Oh, yeah.
All of our alpha personalities in building this house.
What's really funny
And
is
it's gonna be a good time.
like you've got me on that trip, you've got you on the trip, and then we've got Kellen who's leading it, and Kellen's a phenomenal trip lead.
Absolutely.
But, that'll be
we're
interesting because
bossier.
we can both be a little bossy.
But like Kellen's our trip lead.
He is. We
And
know
he-
we can.
you will be in charge,
We can put
Kellen.
ourselves in line. Kellen will let you be in charge.
We will be number 2, tied, because we're not going to be third.
2A and 2B, but
A.
2-1 and 2A.
We'll figure out the logistics later. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. What is your least favorite chore? Household chore?
Anything that has to do with strong smells. So like emptying the fridge of old food, or like having to clean
Do it as
out,
you go.
Having to clean out
Just
a dish of leftovers that's gone bad, but you need to save the dish. I will throw the dish away.
Oh, I throw the dish away
Yeah.
a lot. I've thrown away glass dishes. Like,
Erica gets
don't
really
need it.
angry if I throw Pyrex away
yeah,
because she counts it.
I have thrown a Pyrex, but like nobody's counting my Pyrex except for me.
And like when the kids were younger, I mean, I changed diapers, so don't get me wrong. It's like I would do that, but if it was explosive...
Hang on, I'm
or
fact
there's-
checking this one.
Yeah, I would.
He changed diapers.
I tried to change them 50-50 with you, like poopy and everything. But if it was explosive or
70-30.
leaking, or if it was on other stuff, like I can't do it. I will throw up.
Well,
I've got a bad gag reflex when it comes to smells.
They throw up.
I can't clean. I can't do throw up either. So those kinds of chores, I don't mind doing most other things.
can you train a kid not to puke? I'm gonna research that.
Erica does the laundry, but not because I don't like doing laundry. It's just it's not. Well, I don't dislike, anyways, let's not get into it.
I love it. Well, I mean, I was hoping we'd get into it actually. What is a chore that you like always do because you don't think Erica does it well enough?
Oh,
Or is that not a thing?
I mean, like she's in the
It's
room.
a thing. Yeah, I know. And I'm about to fact check this.
So
I know my flaws.
there are like organizing tight spaces, like closet organization. I have a better sense of dimensional space than my wife does.
Engineer brain.
We are both pilers to an extent, but I like to sort to pile,
I
and
just
Erica
love how
likes
you're like stuttering through this.
Erica,
by the way.
like, I'm trying to be political. Erica,
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
I'm gonna stop being political. Erica
Yeah.
likes to.
We don't want politically correct.
use piles as a means of clearing space.
Sure.
Which means that a lot of times you'll get like a cardboard box full of everything. No, mine's all organized. I have different, like, you're literally everything. Just like you took everything that was on the counter and swept it into a box. That's not piling, that's hiding. Right? So
And sometimes that's necessary,
space,
but I get
space organization is a chore that I tend to,
All right.
to take.
All right. I asked this one to Kellen, but what is your favorite way to pamper yourself?
To pamper myself.
Yes.
Okay.
Out with it.
So
Say it.
I'm a bath guy. I love hot water. Like, I mean, you guys know I have, like the team knows I have a love for hot tubs.
Right.
And they also make a lot of fun of me because we will go sit at the pool and I will literally sit in the hot tub for
100 degrees.
3 or 4 hours. I mean, it's 105, 106 degree hot tub.
Right.
I
but
will
it's like
sit
100
in
degrees
there.
outside.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter
And
what
we're,
the
like,
exterior temp is.
Like dipping our toes in the hot tub or going into the pool with the kids to like cool down, and he's still in the hot tub.
Yeah, I will sit in that hot tub for 4 hours straight. It does not matter.
I would pass out, and I don't normally.
Yeah, and I take really stupid hot baths too. I've actually had to start cooling them down as I've gotten older, or like take like a cold shower afterwards so I can walk. But
I love it.
Yeah, that's the most
Hot water.
consistent way.
Okay.
Anything hot water.
Your mama says all her boys are soakers.
Yes, we all are.
All of them.
And she also, this picture of me organizing, that's not like me as an adult.
There's a picture?
There's a picture of me organizing as a child, as like a 4-year-old or 5-year-old
Where
or
is
something.
this picture?
I don't know. We don't have it. Maybe my mom will post it somewhere. But it is a picture of me playing with blocks. And I would organize them by size, shape, and color. That's how I played with our blocks.
Okay.
So my brothers, my 2 younger brothers, would build cities together and like drive cars and play, imagination and all this kind of stuff. I organized. So I would organize my blocks. I would organize the books.
Kellen, is your thanking us for allowing you to be the trip lead?
Yeah, that's what
I love
that's
it.
from.
Okay. Mine's delayed. I don't know how to get it set up on that.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Mine likes me better.
Yeah.
Well, hit the live button.
I'm a bad
Launch in
millennial.
app. Go to
I don't
the
have.
app.
I deleted my Facebook
Well,
app.
that's why.
I don't like Facebook.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
What's my deepest, darkest secret? Oh my gosh.
Who asked that?
Kellen. Let's go to your question.
That's a great question, Kellen. What is your deepest dark? I don't even know. Do I have a deep dark secret? That's like. I want you to ponder that, and then we're going to circle back because I would like that answer.
Right.
Okay. I also. Speaking of hating Facebook app, what is your favorite social media? And let's lay a few out, because one thing that I recently learned, I'm like a terrible millennial. So like TikTok, which I can't say without going TikTok, is that a social media app? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's like TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Is that all of them? Twitter. Oh, I deleted that one a long time ago too.
What's my favorite?
Yeah. What's your which one do you find yourself going to the most?
Okay.
Or should we look at your phone, like your screen time? Does that break it down?
It would, but so the I suck at posting on social. I don't like posting.
That's because you're a guy.
Well, but even with as far as guys go, like I'm one of the worst. Like I only do it if I'm told I have to.
There's a snippet as far as guys go.
I'm one of the worst. Let's take that out of context.
Yeah. Celine, if you're watching, could we get a snip of that for future social media posts? What's the timestamp? 7:38,
Yeah.
guys.
So, okay. But as far as like consuming,
Yeah.
I have gotten sucked into the TikTok rabbit hole a lot.
Yeah.
There's something about those, 30-second to 1-minute videos that's pretty.
Vine.
Yeah, I never got into Vine. I was
did
too
a
late
little
on the
bit.
Vine game.
I did a little bit.
Create.
But I don't create TikToks. I like to watch TikToks.
Do you do the dances, don't you?
No.
Do you have
no.
some archive
There's
videos
no
of
way
you
I
doing
do
the dances? A couple of the dances.
And
My favorite one that I keep seeing, which I don't have TikTok. Yeah, sorry, this is about me now. We're at that 40-minute mark where I don't actually care. But I keep seeing this one on Instagram because that's my favorite one. But like, it's where I guess and I don't know the back. Okay, let me ask you some things about TikTok. I'm going all over the place. I'm getting excited. Does it like explain these challenges to you, or like if there's like, how everyone's like doing a dance, do you go, is there an area where you can watch everybody doing that, or is it like a news feed type thing?
I mean, if you keep engaging with those posts, it'll give you more of them. But if you click, because they're all to a sound, right? They're all to this, and so if you click on the sound, it'll show you all the posts, usually in order of views for that sound.
Okay.
Right.
So the one that I keep finding is where it's like girls are like offering to buy their boyfriend like a PS5 or something if they do this dance.
I've seen this one.
And so it's like the girl dresses up in the guy clothes and they're like lip syncing to this song, and then the guy has to come out in the girl clothes, like in the girls' clothes, and then like it's like seriously every time I see it I chuckle. And I've seen it where somebody did it with like her little brother, somebody did it with a grandpa who comes rolling in, and then like it's a bunch of like these like boyfriends, and they're usually in like tube tops, dresses. Like it is entertaining.
See, if I were dressed up in my wife's clothes, it would literally be jeans and a t-shirt.
Okay, but like we would make it like today Erica looks adorable in her pink jeans
and
a
t-shirt.
t-shirt, and like that's what we would
And we've
put
already
you in.
established that
And
Eric
he's
and I have the
already
same
worn
inseam size.
and he's already worn her jeans, so this isn't even fun anymore.
There's a picture of me on the Ransom Facebook page in girl clothes.
Oh, you were dressed as Angel.
I was dressed as Angel for a Christmas party.
I love that.
We
I need
did
to
Secret
find
Santa, and we had to dress as the person who was that we were gifting secretly, and they had to try to figure out who
I
was
think
dressed
I
as
heard
them.
about this. So Angel used to be in my life group.
Okay.
But like I didn't know you at that time, so I wonder if I've seen it.
You probably have. So I was dressed as Angel,
I'm gonna
which
have to
was
find
awesome.
that.
It was a lot of fun.
She's got good style.
She does.
Like
yeah.
you probably had a lot of accessories on as well.
Yeah,
Or you should
yeah,
have.
some
Bangles, yeah, good.
Yeah, it's a
I like
necklace and bracelets, and it was good.
What's your least favorite social media platform? What's going on?
No, just people
Since
are
I don't-
commenting.
well,
Here,
yeah.
I'll put it here.
Can you just
Does
give
that?
it to
There
me?
you go.
Jeff,
Okay.
I'll make it happen.
All right, yeah, it's on the Ransom Facebook page, but we could probably find it. So my least favorite, Instagram honestly kind of bores me. I get really bored with, and I know that's the one that like you're supposed to use. Like that's the one everybody's on because like Facebook is dead and Twitter is mean and TikTok is for teens and youths. The youths. And so like, but honestly,
so
Instagram is the one I get on the least. Like Twitter I'll enjoy every once in a while.
I deleted that.
Facebook, I'm the only like Facebook I scroll through really quick, and I'd actually rather read the articles, like the funny list.
That's literally why I
38
deleted
things
it.
that
BuzzFeed.
Yeah, like a BuzzFeed type article.
Since we're talking about me again, I used to like love Facebook. I'm a millennial. Like it was my app. But
Yeah.
like I'm so
Bring
over,
MySpace back.
Yeah. I would like to rank my friends.
I want to force you to listen to a song every time you go to my page.
Yes, dude. I was good. I was pretty good at like changing my fonts, all that good stuff. Anyway,
Down here.
Kellen was dressed as Mara.
That was pretty good.
I would
too.
like to see that one as well.
We'll find the picture.
No, but I used to love like the like tell us your favorite type of cheeseburger and we'll tell you where you live. And I'm like, I bet you can.
That
and
was
like
half of those
that's the
things.
kind of
Juicy,
BuzzFeed.
Juicy, you're from Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm like, what's up? But like I loved that kind of BuzzFeed. And then
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
It got really serious. Like they started to get
Yes.
themselves into actual
news.
like news.
Which
Like,
is what that kind of
I
company
remember
would
when
want.
they got like more political and
Yeah.
more and not that there's anything wrong with, reporting on politics. It was just
No.
off brand for them.
I think what got
It
me
kind of almost
like
become like a Huffington Post in some
Yes,
ways.
and
a
it did-
Huffington Post with like a little brother that would pop in the room every now and then.
I think it's the comments on Facebook that like really get
I don't
me.
go into the comment section.
See, and I always did.
If
and
I
that
wanna
was
watch the
point
world
where I had
burn, I'll go to Twitter.
I had to stop, and I deleted Twitter probably a year ago. But like,
Yeah.
I think I just get so like,
No, if you want to talk about like the app that I consume the most
Yeah.
content on that is user created is YouTube. I spend a lot of
yeah.
time on YouTube. It's not really social media, but it kind of is social
Kind
media.
of.
It's this weird, and that's the thing I like about it. It's this blend between like social media content and creator content, and then big production people put stuff out
Kellen
there as
and
well.
I have a YouTube channel.
Do you really?
Yeah, it actually it's like a spin-off of our
Oh,
podcast.
is it? Do you guys
Yeah.
film another podcast? Like
We're-
right before this one?
We're busy.
Is that why you guys are always
Monday
like getting
nights.
later and later? Oh, Monday nights.
Yeah, that's
okay.
why we missed table read. It's because we're.
It had nothing to do with the fact that we put that on hold for now.
Yeah. Well, why do you think it's on
Anyways.
hold? We have a channel. Chipotle's here.
Yeah.
Is he leaving it and moving on? Because sometimes they don't leave it.
I love
All right,
it.
you're gonna see Erica. Oh, shit. Just do it. You ran into the light. All right.
Okay. So, what is your? Oh, here's one.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite lead team member for G208?
I mean, Juli, of course. My wife, Erica. Erica is my favorite lead team member.
You did fail that question.
I did.
She's my friend. How do you like me more than her?
Oh no.
Just
Hopefully,
kidding.
you know what? She's never going to come back and watch this, so I'll be okay.
That's all right. We are clear. Okay, what is your favorite guilty pleasure like TV show?
TV show?
Is it something that you've rewatched 50 times or like what
Star
do you
Trek
go
Next
back
Generation
to? Ew. Okay.
and Stargate SG-1. I love
what I was
Stargate SG-1. I love
What's that?
It's sci-fi. I love sci-fi. Like 90s and early 2000s sci-fi. Do you want to go across again? Here comes Erica.
Erica's gonna bring
she's
her
gonna go
Chipotle
quick.
back.
Okay.
Did
She has
you
her
get
dinner.
me something or no? Because I didn't ask.
No, there's chips.
Oh my goodness.
It's fine. You should have known, but
You should have known I wanted something.
I can order you some.
no. I'll take a bowl. Awesome. Okay, so sci-fi. That's fun.
You know nothing about sci-fi
Why would you say that?
because you don't.
I watched Star Wars once.
So I grew up on Star Trek Next Generation, right? Like loved Captain Picard, loved Riker, you know.
Brown rice, black beans, chicken.
There's
Guac
all.
on the side.
Oh my gosh. You're actually ordering your Chipotle.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, don't do it. My parents are home. I forgot I have to feed them.
You sure?
Mom and Dad.
You okay?
What do you
Is it okay for her
What
to
do
have
you want
Chipotle?
for dinner?
Comment now. Comment your Chipotle order below. Not everyone. We're only getting it for them.
I'm not used to having roommates.
No, yeah. So that was that's my guilty pleasure is really anything sci-fi.
Okay. So we don't have that in common.
No, we don't. And honestly, I don't have it in common with most people.
What did you say while I was gone that Kellen commented about?
Kellen, what did you comment? I asked him. It doesn't matter.
Asked me who my favorite lead team member was, and she was giving me the stink eye, and so I said
And he
her.
said me, and I'm
I was
like, how
wait,
could you
my
not
wife!
pick my friend?
My wife.
Dare you?
It's a trick question.
Yeah,
Oh my
it was, and he failed. He would have failed either way, though. Let's be real. It was a trap.
It's a trap.
Oh, I forgot your DVD.
That's okay. Hold on to
Ford
it.
versus Ferrari.
a fantastic
Friends.
movie.
It was
That was good.
great.
Watch it.
So I borrowed it from you, and yeah, you lent it. I get confused. That's two different. Okay, so I borrowed it from you, and my parents are in town this week, and I was like, let's watch a movie because we've gone on hikes and fishing, and I'm exhausted. And we just normally in South Dakota we would just watch movies. So
Well,
we need
because
to
it's
get back
either
into
too
that.
hot or too cold to go outside.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
So my dad was like, Jules, I don't care about car movies. It's like, just turn it on. Cause like my mom was outside working and I was like, we all have to sit down and watch the movie at the same time because there's rules on movie night, obviously.
Yes. Because
My house.
if everyone's not there at the beginning, you're going to have to explain crap to them the whole
Yeah.
time.
And that is miserable.
Yes.
And like, but unless I'm not able to be there, then at that point, we're just going to rewind it because I don't want it to be explained. I want to watch it
I
myself.
want to hear your explanation.
Why
I
would
want to
you
see
start
it.
it without me? So
Broke the rules. It's your own fault.
yes. So we started it and we're going through. We watched it on Sunday and like it was so good. My dad
is,
was
yeah.
laughing and at one point I was like, I thought you were going to take a nap, and he was like, this movie is great.
It is better than it has any business being a movie about car racing, right?
Yes,
Like, but
yeah.
it's not about car
And I
racing.
suppose there's a Netflix documentary
Right? Probably.
about the 24-hour race.
Yeah.
So I've been told, and I am gonna check that out because now I'm like a little bit of a nerd on car racing. And
I mean, and the GT40 is a beautiful car. Mm-hmm. That was the car that he
The
was
Mustang?
driving in the movie, the Mustang. Yeah, the really pretty one.
It's not a Mustang?
It's a
Is it like a cousin?
No, it wasn't a Mustang. It was a Shelby GT40. Like, I don't know if they called it a Mustang. I guess the original one. Someone can comment below if it was a Shelby
Help us
Mustang,
out.
Shelby Cobra Mustang GT40, right? Because Shelby Cobra was its own thing.
Isn't that like the color?
No.
That was Shelby's company.
Sure.
And then he made the GT500.
GT40. Oh, and the GT5. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Eleanor.
I like cars, but I don't know all that stuff. I really just am able to be like, that one's pretty. Tell me what it is.
We should have you watch Gone in 60 Seconds because it's like the best Nicolas Cage movie.
Is that a classic?
It's
the best Nicolas Cage.
I know, and then I
there's
laugh.
Competition.
I mean, there's a couple of them that are good. I mean, he's quirky. He's a quirky guy.
Can we talk about stealing the Declaration of Independence?
Come on. Going behind Mount Rushmore, the lake behind Mount Rushmore?
Is that a real thing?
No. Oh, that's right. You're East River.
Ask us when
Can we go-
Minnesota.
Can we go see the lake behind Mount Rushmore? Like, it's Lake Sylvan. It's 40 minutes away or 20 minutes away or whatever. It's not behind Mount Rushmore.
Those
Sylvan
West
Lake.
River
Sorry, I said
people.
that wrong.
I've always said they are a different breed. Okay. Great. Love cars. What is what is your dream car? If you could have anything, money was not an issue, an option.
Growing up, it was a 69 Z28 Camaro. Right. I really liked that car. It's got a little bit of shorter wheelbase as opposed to like a
69 Z28 Camaro.
As opposed to like a Charger or Challenger.
Siri's getting confused.
I didn't catch that. Try tapping above to edit.
I would. I also really like. I've never been in the same room as one, but I'd love like an Aston Martin, like DB9.
Okay.
Because I think that would be like as
This
far as
is
luxury
like the
cars
classic,
go. Yeah,
like
it's a classic
this
muscle.
is
It's a
the-
little bit shorter.
Okay.
So it's not. It doesn't have quite the
really
long
doing it
wheelbase.
for
You know, kind of like some of the later Mustangs went that way.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I also like Eleanor, you know, the GT500. And I got to drive like a 2015 GT500 because a friend of mine
What's that?
owned one. Mustang. A Mustang with 660 horsepower is the only car I've driven that has actually scared me.
And we made the mistake of driving it when?
No, we don't need to talk about it. We went and saw Baby Driver, which is a movie about driving cars fast. And then I had way too much horsepower. We didn't break the car or anything. We didn't do anything. Chad, I didn't hurt the car
it a manual?
at all. Yeah, it was a manual.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was really hard not to just want to just, right? Because, you know, it's like you go see Fast and Furious and you're like,
Yeah. See, I'm like the opposite. So I was driving a friend's Mustang and I kept like shifting gears like once I hit 3,000 RPMs. And he was like, why aren't you having fun? And I was
what are you
like,
doing?
when I learned how to drive a manual, I learned on my dad's Jeep. And he was like, you shift when you get to 3,000
So did you
RPMs.
catch that spot at the beginning of Ford versus Ferrari where he was like, you know, you broke my car. You broke my car. The guy yelling at him in the garage. And it's like, no, it's because you drive it like a school teacher.
Yeah.
And you shift at 2,500 RPMs or 3,000 RPMs.
I did see that.
And so
I
the
was
valves
like,
are sticking.
that is how I drive.
Yeah, because those cars are not meant to be driven like that.
Right. But like, so he was like, that's what dads tell their daughters so they don't break their car. Like, but they're like, this is a Mustang, like rev the engine. And I was like, it seems a little too scary. And the fact that I was able to get out of first or like from stop to second gear, first, like whatever, like moving, I was like, we're golden. We're shifting at 3.
Yep.
So then watching
man.
this when they're like driving the whole race at 6,000, 7,000, I was like,
My favorite for all the Mustang owners, because they had, you know, a pretty, you know, early Mustang at the reveal when they're like,
Yeah.
you know, they go to that party. And then I've forgotten his name now. Ken, Christian Bale's character, he goes, looks like a secretary's car. Because I'm just like, oh, that when they first show it, I'm like, oh, that's a great Mustang. And I'm like, yeah, I guess if you compare it to a Shelby Cobra, it does look like a secretary's car.
that's all right. Okay, that's cool. Muscle cars, whatever.
Yeah.
I could also though, like in like a real sleek minivan. I think that you
Wood
would.
paneling and all.
No. Like a sleek minivan.
Like a Mazda 5.
Yeah, like I could see Josh. Like that's
No.
you know he's
no
rolling up to
sliding
youth
doors.
ministry
I don't want no
with the
sliding
kids
doors.
in the back,
Oh.
dropping them off to VBS. That's you.
No.
But it is. Yeah, you want this to be you, but I think you're more of a minivan dad.
Do you see me? I could have bought a minivan. We do not have a minivan. On purpose.
Right. We got the Pilot instead.
I think Erica probably had to talk you out of being a minivan family.
No.
You wanted it? No. Yeah, so you talked him out of it.
I'm going to have to go work on my motorcycle after this. Just make me feel better.
Yeah, get that running.
Become cool, man.
I know.
Can I borrow your helmet again this weekend?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've seen pictures of the new Indian Scout 20s.
Yeah.
And I really want one of those. Those are
I was going to
gorgeous
say
bikes.
I test drove an Indian, but that's not the case. I sat on it and took it off the kickstand, but I started rolling back into another Indian. So then I was instructed to put the bike down.
Were you with somebody or were you like unattended?
I was
or,
definitely
like...
not alone.
Okay.
But like that's terrifying.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like this like light green with like the tan seats, and the guy like the salesman comes out and sees me sitting on it, and he was like, "Is that your color?" And I was like, "It's close." And he's like, "Well, what would your color be?" And I'm like, "Black." He's like, "So not close at all." I'm like, "No, this is hideous."
No, there's a dark the Scout 20 with the dark green and the leather seat is the one that I want.
All right.
It's gorgeous.
Okay, well,
Kinda
I
like
have
a combat
one more
green.
question. Oh, I don't know if we have time.
We've got time.
Have you broken a bone?
Yes.
And what is that story?
Okay, so I have broken I broke pinkies on both hands
At the same
catching
time?
different times catching footballs.
Shoot. I was really hoping that it would be
same
this.
From the same
Broke
thing.
both my pinkies.
No, and it wasn't like bad. I just you
Fact
just
checking.
splinted it and called it a day. And then I'm trying to remember if I broke anything else. Just my foot, right? I broke my foot in 3 places, jumping down a flight of stairs to get my mom a Diet Coke from the basement fridge.
Good boy.
Right, and so yeah, it was one of those.
Was that
where
before or after you flattened your crease or whatever? I'm not medical, okay? I don't know.
this would have been after I was in high school. I jumped down a flight of steps. I had this bad habit of jumping downstairs, and as a middle schooler and a high schooler.
Well, it's because you had girl pants on, and they probably were.
No,
like,
this was before I was wearing girl pants. It was actually when I broke
aerodynamics were off.
So I jump down most of the flight of steps, and I would do this all the time. But my parents' house has one of those cut-in stairways, as opposed to like where it's a hallway with an angled roof.
Sure.
This was one where the stairs were cut out into the floor, and then has a banister going around it. Do you know what I mean? Like the main floor has just a hole.
I got it.
Right?
That's my parents' house.
Yes. Yeah. The house you grew up in. No, I don't know if you grew up in the house, but I hit my head on the overhang.
Yeah. Yeah.
And knocked myself unconscious.
How unconscious?
And
Mom,
like
fact
out.
check.
Out for probably 30 seconds.
Right, Pat.
So my parents hear
Come
me
on,
hit
Pat.
this just right, and then like nothing, and then screaming.
Well,
Right. So I remember hitting my head, beginning to black out, feeling my foot go straight down into the floor, feeling the bones break, and then nothing, and then waking up screaming.
well, you know what? How many times did your mom tell you to not jump?
All the time.
Yeah, probably because it
Daily.
was annoying, first of all.
Yeah.
You could hurt yourself, secondly.
Yeah.
But, like, quit running down my stairs.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
down
broke
the stairs.
I broke my foot in 3 places, and I was on crutches for a good chunk of the summer.
So, Kellen wants you to do the Tesla minivan with doors like the DeLorean.
Like the Tesla X. That's not a minivan though. It's kind of like a SUV
Got the
thing.
doors that.
I don't know if I'd call that a minivan, man.
Oh,
It's
so
called-
we
they're
had
called
that,
gull wing
so if you're
doors.
against the sliding doors, we
I
can
will-
get around that.
I will take a Tesla
You will
X
take the
any day of
Tesla.
the week. Any Tesla, any car that Tesla makes, I will take it. I would love to
Not
have.
a truck.
I would take the Cybertruck. The Tesla model. I would love to have a Model 3.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
We'll tell Santa.
Okay.
Well, friends,
This was fun.
It's 7.
This was fun.
I was gonna
and
say
I didn't have to
it's
talk about my
79.
deepest, darkest secrets, so we're good.
Oh, shucks.
Ha!
On next episode, this wasn't as much of a train. I know ours wasn't a train while Kellen wrecked Kellen, but Kathy's baby.
Kellen has crazier stories than I do.
That's all right. It was interesting. I hope that you guys feel more enlightened. We got to know Josh just a little bit more.
Oh my gosh.
Find some stuff out. What do we have upcoming? First week of the month is
Yes. Book club. So next week we are talking about the relentless elimination of hurry with John Mark Comer. And I think the hardcover is still like $15 on Amazon, and the Kindle version's $10. And we're reading through part 1, so it's about 48 pages ish. So plenty of time to get on board and join. So that'll be next week.
It's well written. It's pretty easy to read.
Yes, fast read.
So definitely check that out. We talked about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And there's gonna be a whole crew of us here in the room.
Yes.
Right. I mean, I think we've got Lonnie coming in, and Kathy and Kellen and Erica, and I have no idea how we're gonna get everybody on the camera frame, but we're gonna figure that out.
Where we put like the stools behind the
Oh,
couch.
yeah.
Oh, like
talk show.
when they have like all the Avengers on Jimmy Kimmel or
offline.
something. Yeah.
But we will be here
Now-
talking about the book, and we really want you guys to
Yes.
read it with us and jump in. And
The big podcast coming up though is the third week of August. Third Wednesday of August, we're gonna have another ladies' night. But it's going to be Erica, Kathy, and Jordan, and they're going to be talking about fertility issues, because all three of them have had their own fights with fertility and are in different stages of dealing with that. And so they're having just a frank and honest conversation about what that's been like and how that's impacted their life. And so you'll want to be on for that. That's going to be really powerful, and we're just going to let them go. And we'd love if you have your own battles with infertility or know people who have, encourage you to invite them to watch with you, to comment, to be part of the conversation, because I mean, we're all human together, and we're all going through stuff. We all go through junk in life, and this is a big one. So
yeah,
cool.
Awesome. Fun stuff upcoming. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you next time. Do we have like a closing phrase?
No, I usually say,
I think it's going to be that
see you
going
later.
on. So
Bye.